These are the times of broadest highways but narrower viewpoints. These are the times where man has gone all the way back, but finds it difficult to cross the road and meet the new neighbor. These are the times of sometimes good profits and businesses, but shallow relationships. In short, we live in the times where we have much to show in the show window and nothing in the stockroom. We live in this age of guided missiles, but misguided man. Why I would say we are misguided? Today, I think we have the best of education than at any other time in history. We have the best of academic institutions than at any other time in history. I think all of you would agree with me with this. Today, we have more educated people in the society than at any other time in history. Yet, mankind is a diseased one. Mankind needs of thinking something different. What is that thinking different? To be different and succeed different. You would pose a question to me, Swamiji, are we not thinking in the right direction? I don't say you are not thinking, but still a better one is needed. What I call thinking different is not just the word hatke, that means out of the routine or apart from the normal or not treading the routine path. By the word think different, I mean on the lines of humanity, on the lines of morality, on the lines of spirituality. As a student, and in future as a professional, as a family person, as a social person, if a person living a public life, all will have to think differently on the lines of ethics in profession, on the lines of humanity in personal life, on the lines of morality in family and social life, on the lines of spirituality overall. Only then we will be different and will succeed different. Once upon a time on a fine Sunday morning, a gentleman was reading his morning newspapers. And a couple of articles he found very interesting. So he was reading it enthusiastically with a cup of coffee beside him. And he was enjoying his Sunday morning. And his little 7-8-year-old son walked up to him and started harassing his father. Dad, you promised me a cricket bat this week, and you did not fulfill it. And after 2 hours, I have a cricket match. I was so enthusiastic to have my own bat, carrying my own bat to the cricket match and showing it to my friends that I got a new one. And you are letting me down. And he started crying. The father himself also felt that I should have got him a new bat. He regretted. But then he had no option as it was a Sunday morning and the shops were closed. So he wanted the boy to stop crying, or get him engaged in some other work for a while. By the time he can go for his cricket match and he could keep continuing reading his Sunday morning newspaper. He looked around to get something to engage the little boy, and he found an A4 size paper which had on it a world map printed. So he got an idea. He showed this world map to the little boy. He said, see, this is a world map. Now the little boy was just 7-8 years old. In second or third standard, he had never studied geography. He had never seen maps of the world. And he said, this is India, here, this is called Asia, this is Europe, this is England, this is America, this is Africa, this is Australia, and New Zealand. See, now I'm tearing it into small pieces, like about 16 pieces, and I'll hand it over to you after shuffling it. You are supposed to get it back in order. If you get it back in order, I'll give you a bet right away. Otherwise, you play with your friends, bet this match, and next Sunday, definitely you are getting it. The little boy had no option. He said, okay, Dad. And so the dad tore that A4 size paper into 16 pieces, shuffled it, and gave it to the little boy. The little boy went to the other room and he was asked to arrange the whole map of the world perfectly with a sellotape stuck behind the paper. The father knew that the little boy would not come back at least for 1 hour, 2 hours, and that too he will come without doing the job because he's never studied world geography. And to his surprise, the little boy came back in 10 minutes and said, Dad, here is the job done. And Dad was surprised. And he took the paper in his hand and saw it. Oh my God, it's a perfect world map done. How did you do it? And little boy laughed at the father and said, Dad, it is very simple. Dad said, you are just studying in standard 3. How can it be simple for you? You have never studied this. How did you do it? The little boy said, give me the paper, and took the A4 size paper from Dad's hand, turned it around and told the dad, see Dad, on the other side, there was a picture of a man standing. I just turned everything around, adjusted the man, and the world got adjusted automatically on the other side. Adjust the man, adjust yourself, and your world, and your people's world, your surroundings world, your connected world, everything will get adjusted. How would you do it? By thinking different. By thinking different, you can adjust yourself well and thus adjust your world well, and thus help and be an inspiration to the society, to the nation, and to the world. Now let us talk practical after this example. What exactly is thinking different? The first point that I would like to put forward in thinking different is always tell yourself in the morning before you get out of your bed, that is before you start your day, that I am born to be a winner. Even after defeats, even after setbacks, even after failures, even after falls, still I'm born to be a winner. This is point number one in thinking different. I'm born to be a winner. Energize yourself in the morning. Fill yourself with confidence in the morning. Develop an attitude of positive, and you can win your life. You can change your world. Let me share you a wonderful example of a master batsman, Marwan Atpatu of Sri Lanka. Many of you might have seen him playing, a world-class batsman. But his story goes back that when during the initial days of his domestic cricket, he performed very well. And so one day he got that elusive call from the National Cricket Board of Sri Lanka that you are supposed to tour with the national team this time and you are part of the playing 11. And this was a moment of joy, and it is always for any sports person to play for his country. So Marwan Atpatu was elated and he toured with Sri Lanka. His first international exposure, first test, first innings, 0. First test, second innings, 0. He was benched. And the coach, the selector, and the captain decided to send him back to Colombo. Now, this was a big dejection for him. A state of depression did cloud his mind. But then he had decided, the point number one that I'm sharing with you, he had decided that I am born to be a winner. He had decided that I will be a winner. So what did he do? He kept on telling himself, yes, I will not feel dejected, I will not feel depressed. He went back to the nets. His family did console him. His friends did support him. Again, like about 21 months later, he again gets a call from the national side. This time again, he tours. Again, first test, first innings, 0. First test, second innings, just one run. Again benched, again sent back. Now this time his family would say, well, Marvin, you should think it over again. And this time his friends would also say that, Marvin, I think you should think over your career again. He said, no, I've decided to play for my country. I'm born to be a winner. I will not allow the setbacks and failures to cloud over my mind, depress me, and put me back into the room. He went on for the domestic cricket. He again went back through the grid. Another 19 months of strict domestic discipline circuit. And then again he got that elusive call to play for the national 11. Again, first inning 0, second inning 0. Now this was very depressing. Anybody would lose confidence in their own self. Anybody would start telling their inner self, come on now, this is not my cup of tea. And this time when he was sent back, even the Sri Lankan press started writing about him, that Marvin Atpattu is not a big match material. He has some fear to perform on the big stage. Some newspapers wrote that Marvin cannot face international pace. So all these things started happening. Even his family said, see, and more than that, Marvin Atpattu was a qualified chartered accountant. Today I'm talking to chartered accountant students. Marvin Atpattu was a qualified chartered accountant and had a good family business. So the family members, the elders told him that, see, you have other options. You can sit in the family business office or at all, if at all, you want to have your career as a professional, as a chartered accountant, in our office building, family office building, we can set up an office for you. He said, definitely, but I want to play cricket for my country. I'll again go for the domestic cricket. And he goes through it, again gets a call from the national side, and this time he scores a wonderful half century, cemented his place in the playing 11 for many years to come. He scored more than 5,000 test runs and more than 16 centuries with six double centuries, and had a wonderful, glorious cricketing career for his country and realizing his dream. Today, he's an idol of inspiration for the youngsters, not just in Sri Lanka, but everywhere. I shared this special incident with you all because you all are chartered accountants, and Marvin Atpattu also was a chartered accountant. But what I mean to say is think different. And that first thing is, I'm born to win. I am born to win, whatever the setbacks. See, success is never an elevator to the top. You can not go to the top of the Himalayas and buy a chopper and have your photograph printed in front on the front page of a newspaper. It is always one step at a time. You have to go from the base camp. So what I mean to say is that basically you have to take care of yourself when you face such dilemmas in your life, when you face such setbacks and failures in your life, that I'm born to win. Never lose the confidence, never lose the willpower, never slip into negative attitudes. This is think different. See, so Marvin Atpattu thought different. He became different and he succeeded different. So think different, be different, succeed different. My second point, always throughout the day, from morning to evening, always be a positive thinker, a prosperity thinker, never a poverty thinker. This is my point number 2, practical in the topic, think different, be different, succeed different. Prosperity thinking, never a poverty thinking. What is prosperity thinking? Prosperity thinking is, yes, tomorrow morning, the sun is going to rise with some golden opportunities for me. Yes, tomorrow morning, the first rays of sun coming into my window, into my bedroom, is going to bring opportunities for me. Yes, tomorrow morning, somebody is going to meet me who is going to help me out of this issue. Yes, tomorrow morning will be my morning. That is called prosperity thinking. What does a poverty thinker think? Yes, oh my God, what will happen? Where am I? Oh my God, I am landed in darkness. Who is going to support me? I don't have enough friends. Who will take care of me? I'm alone. I'm not that academically qualified. These are the thoughts of poverty thinker. So before actually the situation affects you, your own thinking of poverty level kills you. Here the point lies of thinking different is become a prosperity thinker. In the worst of situations that you are placed, yes, I will get support. Yes, my academics, my talent and my experience together will prop up with something that would be able to bring me out of this situation. Yes, there lies lot many opportunities in front of me. Keep on having such thoughts in your mind. Even if it is to be done forcefully, do it. Even if it requires telling yourself this again and again, even every hour of the day, do it. While you are walking to your railway station, while you are walking to your taxi stand, while you are getting down from your house onto the main road to catch a taxi, all such times you can use to tell yourself these things and fill you up with all positive energy. And that radiates in your facial expressions, that radiates in your body language, that radiates in the words that you speak. And it helps people around you. So become a prosperity thinker. Never become a poverty thinker. That is my point number 2. When it comes to think different, be different, and succeed different. See, if at all, you know, India is considered a third world country. India is considered not to be a developed country. But still in the times of Corona, what India achieved, perhaps none of the so-called developed countries could ever achieve. What is 150 crore plus vaccination? That means, do you know the entire population of UK is 6.5 crores? That is 65 million. And the population of India is 135 to 140 crores. 150 crore vaccine doses means India, the government of India, we the Indians, we achieved. We vaccinated 25 UK. We vaccinated 25 England. The population of US is 35 crores. That is 350 million. What is 150 crore vaccination? So we India, we vaccinated 4 Americas, 4 US. What an achievement for the so-called less developed country, for the so-called third world country. And for the first time in history, we developed a vaccine. Never ever we have developed our own vaccine. And that too during the times of the pandemic. India can do it. If we decide, we can do it. Prosperity thinking. Yes, we can make it. And we did it. And we should be proud of it. So what I mean to say is, Be a prosperity thinker, never be a poverty thinker. For example, you are a chartered accountant student. Maybe at some stage in phase one, phase two, that is inter or finals, you may not succeed at the first attempt, and many don't. But I know many chartered accountants in WIRC where I come from. That is, I stay in Gujarat. So, according to your regional setup, we are from the WIRC zone. I know many chartered accountants in Ahmedabad, in Baroda, in Surat, in Mumbai, in Pune, who did not like academically qualify well. That is, were not throughout rankers or did not pass out CA in their first attempts. But still, they kept on doing it with all positive energy. They came out with flying colors one day, and today they had wonderful jobs or they are doing their own practices. So keep trying, keep moving. Prosperity thinking tells you that until I can run, I will run. When I can't run, I'll walk. When I can't walk, I'll crawl, but I'll not stop. I'll keep moving. This is prosperity thinking. This is my point number 2. Point number 3, in think different, be different, succeed different is always be in a state of introspection. Can I be wrong? Did I make a fault somewhere? Was it my mistake? Did I miss out on something? Do I lack some talent, some intelligence, some know-how of my field? Am I not able to maintain relationships? Did I fail in knowing my company culture? And that is why I lost my job. Introspect. See, nowadays, you millennials, because I've been with the millennials many a time, I'm not cursing any generation. You millennials are quite smarter than our generation. Let me accept that. You millennials are academically more qualified than our generation. Let me accept that. You millennials are more tech savvy, which is great, than our generation. Let me accept it. But at the same time, for your good, let me tell you today that you millennials lack patience, lack introspection, and always are in a sort of a superiority complex that I'm always right. This is hurting your careers. This is disabling your lives. This is paralyzing your progress. Introspect. Yes, you can be wrong. You can make a mistake. And if you are wrong, if you have made a mistake, accept it. This is thinking different. Then you will be different and you will succeed different. Why you will be different and succeed different? Because when you introspect and accept your mistake, when you accept your failure, that is when you own your failure. Yes, it is because of me that I have failed. Then people around you will take you as a genuine person. People around you would feel like helping you. People around you would think that he is a person who loves truth. People around you or your work colleagues back in office would feel that he or she always lives in the right spirit of life. When such thoughts, when such attitudes, and when such behaviors develop for you amongst your colleagues, amongst the people around you, they help you to be different and succeed different. So think different. Point number 3 is introspect. I studied at the BVM Engineering College in Vallabh Vidyanagar in central Gujarat. There in our college was a professor by the name Junnarkar. In his subject, you would be surprised. And let me tell you, the entire class failed. All 40 failed. The professor was a bit strict in his disciplines, in his attitudes, in his teaching style. But somehow the entire class failed. Professor Junakar, with all the 40 answer sheets, enters the room during his period time, places the entire heap of answer sheets on the teacher's table, and all the students of that class were like downheaded, not able to match their eyesight with the professors. And they were like feeling ashamed. And they knew the professor would scold them in the class. And everybody were like feeling, oh my God, what will happen next? When after a moment's silence, everybody looked up, to their surprise, they found tears in the eyes of Professor Junarkar. Professor Junarkar was a very renowned professor. His written books today still are a course in engineering colleges. Tears in professor's eye, and everybody were like surprised. And then Professor Junarkar said, I'm quoting him word to word and letter to letter. He says, I don't know why, but there is something wrong with me. And he left the class. All the students also were in tears, started crying. That why should our professor feel bad about himself when we have not performed well? They decided to study harder. They decided that none from our batch should fail the next time in the professor's subject. And they decided, they came out with flying colors the next time. Entire class passed this subject. This is my point number 3. When you introspect and accept something, that something is wrong with me, we have a habit of pinpointing finger towards people. He did this, she did this, he shouldn't have done this, she shouldn't have done this, and all they did this to me, so this happened to me. No. You had a mind on your shoulders. You had a heart. That means you had to have control on your thinking in your head and your emotions in your heart. What to take, how much to take, when to take, was always your choice. Then why did you take negatives inside you? Why did you accept those negatives? Got my point? So whenever it comes to failures or setbacks, first introspect. Where did I go wrong? This is called thinking different. And accept the complete responsibility of your failure. This is the highest level of thinking different. Situations were not conducive to me, so I failed. No. I prepared my best, but the question paper was too tough, so I failed. No. I did work hard in the company for 12 hours a day, yet my boss was not satisfied with my work, so I failed. No. None of these excuses. No excuses. Take 100% responsibility for your failures. Only then you will grow. Let me tell you something into brackets. You are not 100% responsible for your failure. Situations, circumstances, and people do affect your failure or success. But when you want to grow, when you want to earn a promotion, when you want to rise, when you want to reach to a different level, always tell yourself, I am 100% responsible for my failure. Let me improve in all the sectors. Let me rejuvenate myself with all the latent resources that I have. I just failed because I was not perfect myself. Keep that attitude to grow, to rise. This is called thinking different. All the great personalities have done this. Think different, then you be different. and you succeed different. Our Guru Pramukh Swami Maharaj, organization that I come from, the BAPS Swaminathan Sanstha, we are one of the largest organizations in the world with a permanent state in the United Nations as an NGO. We have got about 1,300 institutes of hospitals, hostels, schools, colleges, community centers, sanskar kendras, mandirs, akshardhams. Probably you might have heard the name of Akshardham at Gandhinagar in Gujarat or Delhi. I come from the same organization. I named Parapuja Pramukh Swami Maharaj, the creator of this organization, to this level, and initiated more than 1,300 saints like us. Out of them, more than 70% of them are graduates, postgraduates, chartered accountants, doctors, and engineers. Many of our saints are even chartered accountants. Many of our saints have studied in Stanford, in Harvard, in Carnegie Mellon, in Yale, and such institutes. Many of our saints have left aside $150,000, $200,000 of job in NASA, Microsoft, and Google. This was the achievement of Pramukh Swami Maharaj. Why could, as a saint, he could achieve this level of success in the society? As a saint, he could achieve a hardcore professional when it comes to intense hard work. This is thinking different. Normally it happens, and people have an attitude that saints are made for just discourses, saints are made just to bless people, and saints are made to stay in big complexes, in big religious institutions, and have an easy life. Pramukh Swami Maharaj thought different. He decided to go all out and reach out to people. You would be surprised to know when I tell you that Pramukh Swami Maharaj, in a span of 45 years as the guru of this organization, he traveled to more than 60 countries in 18,000 villages and towns and cities. He personally visited more than 3.5 lakh homes, offices, factories, and shops to uplift people in all walks of life. He personally read and answered more than 7.5 lakh letters at an unbelievable average of reading and answering more than 70 letters a day without a Sunday for 45 years. Intense hard work. This is think different. Intense hard work. Walk the extra mile. Carry the extra burden. Face the extra danger. That is called intense work. Again, I repeat, walk the extra mile every day. Carry the extra burden every day. Face the extra danger every day. This is thinking different, and you succeed different because of that. See, the successes of Pramukh Swami Maharaj. He created a volunteer force of 5,000. This event is being organized by the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India. And I was asked to join this event by Sushil Goyal from Kolkata. In Kolkata, on the Gangasagar Road, we have a huge 50-acre campus that the people of Kolkata very happily join on weekdays and weekends to just spiritually refresh themselves. Such huge campuses all over the world where people can change their lives for the better. Pramukh Swami Maharaj did. For that, he has been the recipient of more than 40 Kyoto cities in America. Pramukh Swami Maharaj was felicitated in the British Parliament, in the Kenyan Parliament, in the Canadian Parliament with standing ovations. He has been in the Guinness Book of World Records 6 times. You can see his picture behind me, the black and white picture. His birth centenary celebrations this year, 2022, we are celebrating. And in the month of November and December 2022, in Ahmedabad, Gujarat, it will be a 30-day cultural festival on 750 acres of land. Why so much a person can do during his lifetime? With intense hard work. And let me add one more similarly important factor: ethically right working. Once Pramukh Swami Maharaj was asked which thought remains with you 24/7, And he said, the thought that has never entered my mind, shall I tell it first? And that was more interesting. He said, the thought of hurting anybody physically, mentally, or emotionally has never entered my mind. This is beyond the can of human intelligence. This is beyond anybody's thinking. This level of ethical, intense hard work is thinking different. Don't find shortcuts. To try and find a shortcut is a routine thinking. And I sometimes label it as an animal thinking. It's not human thinking. There is no shortcut to success. Shortcuts are always slippery. Shortcuts are always slippery in your professional careers. You may feel that if I go through this path, I can achieve a couple of promotions, or I can make my boss happy, or, I can find out my way. But that's not going to happen. You will have to go for intense ethical hard work for progress, because this is the age of competition, severe cutthroat competition in all the professions. Without intense ethical hard work, nobody is going to progress. Nobody. Sachin Tendulkar was a God-gifted batsman. When he completed 20 years of international cricket, Times of India Mumbai carried out a very special supplement on him. The interviewer asks him a very simple question, sir, what is the secret of your success of 20 years of international performance? Because for any sportsman in any sport, 20 years of stellar performance, stable performance is a class of its own. And Sachin was still going. Sachin, a God-gifted batsman, cricket of God, as Adam Gilchrist tells about him. And about his talent, even the Pakistan pacer, Waqar Yunus, tells that Sachin is so perfect in his leg glance that he can play a Waqar Yunus pace delivery to a leg glance by a walking stick. If you give a walking stick to Sachin Tendulkar to play, such a thin stick, and he's facing Waqar Yunus, and the ball pitches on the leg, Sachin can play a glance with a walking stick and a perfect glance to the defined leg boundary. Such a talented batsman, but intense ethical hard work was the secret behind his success. Sachin Tendulkar answers this question saying, the secret of my success is I face 500 deliveries in the morning. Every morning I go to the nets. I face 500 deliveries. Without that, I don't start my day. The interviewer was quick, intelligent. He propped up a question from this answer. Sir, if you're in good nick, you have scored a century or a double century in the previous day. Sachin goes, even then, I go to the nets at 6 in the morning and play 500 deliveries the next day. Again, the interviewer asks him, sir, would you not get attracted to your emotions of going through the newspapers and social media? Because you have scored a century, you will be all over the media. And would you not feel like seeing your pictures in different medias and the captions written underneath? Sachin says no. He says that if you go for that in the morning, you miss out your practice and you miss out your cutting edge advantage. So intense hard work, even if you are talented. So as a CA student, even if you are intelligent, even if you are a ranker, still develop a habit of intense hard work. Once upon the time, the Prime Minister of India, Indira Gandhi, used to say that there is no option to hard work. She, in her Hindi language, used to say, "Kathor parishram ka koi vikalp nahi." There is no alternate to hard work. And we see today in the Honorable Prime Minister of our country, Narendra Modi, even at the age of 70, 71, he works 14 to 16 hours a day. And we could see the results of his hard work today in the country. So what I mean to say is intense ethical hard work has been the motto, has been the slogan, has been the blood of all the great achievers. Nothing can be achieved without that. This was my point number 3 in telling you to think different, be different, and you succeed different. My last point number 4 in this topic is, along with developing your IQ, along with developing your EQ, also try to develop your SQ. IQ is intelligence quotient, EQ is emotional quotient, and SQ is spiritual quotient. IQ, intelligence quotient, means that you think rationally, you act purposefully, and you deal effectively with the situation. Emotional quotient means you have empathy for people. You put yourself in other person's shoes and think, how would he be thinking? Feel, how would he be feeling? Experience, how would he be experiencing in the times that he's passing through? That is called emotional intelligence. Until the 90s, the concept in the market, in the commercial, professional world was people with the best of resources and intelligence would always succeed, and they succeed better. After the 90s, they found out that people sometimes with lesser intelligence, that is technical know-how. By intelligence, I mean technical know-how, lesser of resources, still they succeeded more. The reason behind that, they had emotional intelligence. That is, they knew how to deal with people. People-friendly people would succeed more than technically loving people, academic loving people, people loving people, not just technology loving people. People loving people would always succeed more. See the Silicon Valley, where many of the engineers get $100,000, $150,000 job, but who is paying them? The Americans, who are not even sometimes commerce graduates, because they are smart managers. They know how to handle people. So they are handling, even being a commerce graduate, the best of technical minds, paying them big money and extracting huge money from them. So emotional intelligence is more than just intelligence. But above EQ is SQ, spiritual quotient. I refer a wonderful book to all, to dear students, because you young generation is the next in line responsible generation of our country. You youngsters are going to shoulder the responsibilities of our country and your respective countries. This is an international conference. Your respective societies, your respective communities, and your respective nations. You are going to shoulder the responsibilities of all progress and success and peace. So let me refer to you a wonderful book. I recommend it to you. The title of the book is Spiritual Intelligence, the Ultimate Intelligence, written by Dana Zohar and Ian Marshall. Dana Zohar and Ian Marshall. It's a wonderful book. You must definitely read it. In this book, the authors write that spiritual intelligence is 8 things. I'm not going to elaborate on it. I'm just giving you the names of the 8 qualities that a person who possesses spiritual intelligence has mastered, or the vice versa. If you master these 8 qualities, by a regular focus on it, you become spiritually intelligent. And these 2 authors, after their research and survey, they write that people with spiritual intelligence definitely guides, definitely be in a superior position than people with IQ or EQ. First quality of a spiritual intelligence person, flexibility. Flexibility to change is intelligence. The new definition of intelligence put forward by Harvard University. Flexibility to change is intelligence. Second is self-awareness. You should be extremely self-aware. Where am I? What am I doing? What I'm talking? What are the people around me? What are the circumstances and situations prevailing around me? what I'm supposed to do next. Extremely self-aware so you don't make a private or a public mistake. Third, an ability to face and use suffering. If you have a suffering of some kind in your life, face it. And face it in a way that you use it for your advantage. Some people have this knack. Fourth quality of a spiritual intelligent person, an ability to be inspired by a vision. You see something and you get inspired to do something in your own field. Fifth quality, an ability to see connection between diverse things. Those things which are 180 degrees apart, yet you see a connection between the two. That is the fifth quality of a spiritual intelligent person. Sixth, an ability to cause as little harm as possible to yourself, to people around you, to nature, to environment, to the system. Cause as little harm. When you are extremely self-aware of all your moves and motives, you cause minimum harm and damage to your surroundings. That includes from people to environment. Seventh, an ability to ask and probe the fundamental questions of life and profession. If you don't understand something as a student, ask your teacher. Still, if you don't understand, ask again. Still, if you don't understand, ask a colleague. But until you are fully satisfied and convinced with the answer, and until you have clarity of that point in your mind, don't leave that. Just with an imagination, perhaps it can come as an option in my exams, and I just leave it with a laughing face. No. What will you do when it comes actually in your practice and a client comes up with the same issue to you when you are a chartered accountant, when you are practicing in your own firm? So an ability to ask and probe the fundamental questions of life and profession. And the eighth one, an ability to work against a convention, against a belief, against a design, against a slope, an ability to work. These are the 8 qualities of a spiritually intelligent person and the top class management gurus today. From Stephen Covey to Og Mandino to Ken Blanchard to Anthony Robbins to Robin Smith, all of them, they definitely put forward a point that a spiritually intelligent person can definitely rule over just people with IQ or people with EQ or even with people possessing both IQ and EQ. Still, SQ stands out. This is the opinion of researchers and surveys in the management field, in the profession, in the work field, and even in social relationship skills. People with SQ develop better and strong relationships with people around them than just intelligent people. So don't just develop your hand. 3H should be required. Develop your hand, head, and heart. Because when only the hand works, it is labor. When the hand and the head work together, it becomes a skill. When the hand, head, and the heart, all three work together, it becomes an art. Make every word of yours, every act of yours, every attitude of yours, every behavior of yours, every exchange of yours with others, an art. And that you can make only when you are extremely self-aware or spiritual quality, self-awareness. So this is my point number 4. When you think of becoming a spiritually intelligent person, according to this book and the 8 points that I listed out, it is thinking different from just money-oriented mind. It is thinking different than just being a participant in the rat race in the professional world today. Because even if you win the race, you are still a rat. This is thinking different from the routine way of life of just going to the office, doing your work, getting your money, and getting back to your family and living a life. Spiritual intelligence is a different world. This will make you succeed in all the worlds that you are in. Personal world, family world, neighborhood world, community world, social world, public life world, everything. It can add fragrance to your life. It can add color to each and every act of your life. So spiritually intelligent person, strive to be. So I told you 4 points. Point number one in thinking different was Marwan Atpatu. I'm born to win. Point number two in thinking different was, here I don't have the real audience, so I won't be able to ask them and I cannot see your fingers raised. But point number two, I tell you, of prosperity thinking, no poverty thinking. Point number three, I told you, introspect and accept the full responsibility of your failures. Only then you will succeed. No excuses in life. Point number four, be a spiritually intelligent person, not just IQ and EQ. Develop SQ as well. All this comes by faith in God. More the faith in God is the all-doer. As Bhagwan Sri Krishna tells in Srimad Bhagavad Gita, Karmanyavadhikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana. He tells Arjun, Arjun, your job is to perform your duty well. Results, I will decide. So when you accept this saying, when you accept this reality of life, that my job as a human being is to do my work to the best of the resources that I have, I possess, and I could exhibit. But final results, God decides, and I will accept all the final results that come in my life. Then you'll be more stable, more peaceful with your own self. And that is the biggest achievement of life. To be at peace with yourself, even in the turmoils of life. To be stable with yourself in all the happenings of your life is the biggest achievement. Sometimes when I'm talking to corporates, I tell them, when you say that I don't have time, is it your success or your failure? When you say I don't have time, when you speak this sentence, is God a fool that he just made 24 hours in a day? And you are wiser that you need 26 and 28 and 30 hours in a day? The President of America, Joe Biden, has 24 hours. The Prime Minister of India, Narendra Modi, had 24 hours. I talked to you about Pramukh Sai Maharaj. He had 24 hours in a day. See what they did, what they're doing. Even you have 24 hours. So if you say, I don't have time for something which is important to you, then let me tell you, it is not your success. It is a failure. You are not a good manager of your time. You're not a good manager of your work. You don't have a good work-life balance. So think different. That I want to live a proper work-life balance, and that comes when you have such faith in the happenings, and above that, faith in God, that he's the all-doer. I will do to the best of my resources. I'll try to perform best. But the final result, whatever, I will accept it. I will not get disturbed. I will not get irritated. I will not slip into frustration and depression. That why did not I achieve my goal? Okay, I will try it the next time. I will try better the next time to achieve. But I will not slip into depression, frustration just because I did not achieve my goal in the first attempt. Okay, I tried my best. Only thing you have to check yourself when you fail is, did I put in my best foot forward? Yes, if you did, then okay, accept failure. Simple. That will come by your faith in God. Yes, that he's all doer. And it's well scripted in our scriptures. We are the children of God. Why should we? Do our parents think ill about us? No. In the same way, we are children of God. Why he would think ill, bad about us? He's always there to help us and bless us. So whatever he does in our life is for our good. So this is called faith in God, that whatever has happened in my life so far, whatever is happening at the moment, and whatever will happen in the future, always happen for my good, for my progress. I have to keep that attitude. So these were certain points that I wanted to put forward in my talk today. Think different, be different, succeed different. I especially thank Sushil Goyal, my good friend again, for inviting me to this forum today and allowing me to share some of my thoughts with you. I take this platform today to wish all the chartered accountants a glorious academic career and a wonderful professional career and a great family life and personal life ahead. May you take your societies, your communities, your nation to more heights of pride in future by your achievements and by your purity of your life. And I also thank Agrawalji for introducing me to the forum.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you very much.